welcome back to another edition of Research Fantasy Presents our MLB DFS hitter picks for Wednesday, May 24th, 2017. My name is Nick from CWE, and I'm here to bring you my top 3 bats for tournament action tonight. And this is an interesting night. I mean, there's a lot of different directions we can go. And these picks, like usually I'm pretty good about trying to force myself to find picks at all different levels, and I can do that tonight in this video even, but the teams I like most, the players I like most are more expensive. So I'm not going to put myself in a position where I put a pick out there that I don't feel as confident about. So these are a little bit high priced. I think there's definitely some way for you to find wiggle room to get these guys in your lineups. Even maybe you can't get all of them with Chris Sale. I don't think that's going to be a possibility, but I do think it is something where you could probably get 2 or 3. Or if you're extremely good at and you're very a good engineer, you'll definitely be able to get all of them in. Let's start things off and end the rambling with Ben Zobrist, $8K on Fantasy Draft, $3,300 FanDuel, $4,200 DraftKings. I was writing my article while the Giants-Cubs game was in delay, and I really didn't know if it was going to play, so I didn't know if it was going to be valid or not. But Matt Moore is a guy who could definitely be a good pitcher, but he can definitely be someone we can pick on. Zobrist looks to take advantage of the 37% hard contact rate that Moore brings to his game tonight. I mean, the Cubs are just an offense that are really trending up. I know that it was a tough situation for them a couple nights ago getting shut out. They kind of came back pretty nice yesterday. I expect them to bounce back even further tonight, and the Cubs will be one of my favorite stacks tonight. Speaking of stacks, even though they didn't make, well, they made my article, but they're not going to make this video. I really like the Tampa Bay Rays as a sneaky stack tonight against Ricky Nolasco. I think there's enough junk pitchers out there that players might not look at them, and I don't think they're that favorable as it is. For the most part, I don't think they're like darlings of DFS players, but I know I'm going to have some exposure. A guy who really sticks out to me as being cheap in this matchup tonight is Steven Souza Jr. So if he's in the lineup, he's someone I'm going to be playing a lot of. Moving on, let's go to Daniel Murphy, 9,900 Fantasy Draft, 3,900 FanDuel, 5K DraftKings. The Nationals go up against Sam Gaviglio tonight. That is a name of a pitcher in Major League Baseball. We saw what they did against another pitcher who was just being tossed out there arbitrarily last night. So, you can't go about things thinking, well, they're going to score 10-plus runs every game. We saw how that finished for the Diamondbacks last night, who were dream killers. But I think the Nationals are in a really good spot tonight. Murphy, still, I think, the best hitter of the bunch there, so going up against a subpar pitcher, I definitely want to have some exposure to him. Finally, my top hitter on the night. And we've had a pretty solid string of hitters going thus far. Goldschmidt had a pretty solid game last night. Corey Dickerson at least hit a home run the night before. I'm going with Aaron Judge tonight. 9,600 Fantasy Draft, 4,300 FanDuel, 5K DraftKings. To me, taking on Jason Hamill, who's allowing a 444 WOBA, 34% fly ball rate, 22.7 home run to fly ball ratio, and a 33.9 hard hit rate. Like, most of those numbers aren't where I'm typically falling with, like, why I fall in love with a pitcher. Like Dylan Covey, for example, was in the 40%, high 40s in fly ball and hard hit rate. So it just made a ton of sense. This is just a situation where bats, I think, from New York are going to be alive tonight. Hamill, just not a great pitcher. I really can see a guy like Judge taking advantage of him, and he's going to be my top play. So to wrap it up, our top 3 tournament hitters tonight: Ben Zobrist, Daniel Murphy, Aaron Judge. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Head over to Facebook, like us on Research Fantasy, follow us on Twitter at Research and Win, and join us again tomorrow.